Hey people, it's me again, Hannah. I've decided that I'm going to make another video where I'm going to point out things that people might not know or have connected the dots that I saw way back then. But maybe now it's going to be more obvious. And this is about what was labelled by the Western empires the Arab Spring, okay? And this was a series of protests and riots that people may or may not know. They might know now because of what happened in Iran. It was exactly the same, except in Iran, they saw the pattern and they didn't get away with it, okay? So it was a series of protests and riots that was started deliberately by agents, confirmation, agents that infiltrated protests set up by Moss, Ad, CIA, MI6. Okay, those three. The orgy, intelligence orgy. That was what I was going to say. Yeah, that's what happened. And it was all basically to stop African unity that Gaddafi had started. They wanted like sovereign currency for Africa, but they couldn't stop that anyway because God raised Ibrahim Traore, so he's just filling in the shoes, but from the Sahel instead of from Libya. And all those just were for nothing. Mohamed Morsi died in prison. He was the president of Egypt that got ousted because he was about to dissolve I think they were called the Camp David Accords, the ones with the peace treaty with Misr, Egypt, and yeah. So that, like, basically, Egypt and Chitral, they just stay frenemies. They just it's like a married couple, like with all the relationships with Chitral and with America and with the UK. All of those arrangements with the Arab countries are like when you stay married to someone just for the benefit of the money. That's those arrangements. But yeah, so now people can see what happened in Iran, where it was MI6, CIA, Mossad. I don't even know why I bothered to even try to dodge the monitoring spirits of YouTube before. Yeah, so the intelligence orgy, I'm just going to call it that from now on. Okay, the intelligence orgy. They trained ISIS, ALQ, AEDA, and so on. There was those kinds of terrorists that hijacked the protests in Iran, and it was exactly the same across North Africa and West Asia, like in Syria. All because let's one guess, people, all because of Chitral. Chitral is no more, man. No more, no more, no more. It's the end days for Chitral. It's the end days for Chitral. Very much so. So what was the point in all of it? Because the end days for Chitrail is going to happen. Doesn't matter how. Like it just is, because it's not supposed to be there. It's like you don't leave cancer in your body, do you? You have to excise it, not to let it metastasize, which the world has been allowing for too long, far too long. And now the world is learning about what a cancerous heap of sewage Chitrail really is, and about the law of cause and effect, and about the law of polarity, the law of contrast, the law of polarity, the universal laws, the ones you shouldn't step over as if you are God. Yes, those ones. There's 12 of them. The biggest one they obstruct is compromising other people's free will. Do you know how much karma comes along with doing that? And oh boy, if you step over a chosen person's free will, let's see. And how many of those did Chitrail step over in the recent genocide of my people? Mm. Mm. Too many. One is too many. One is too many. So Chitrail is over. And I've just recently received the news to confirm how over Chitrail is that nobody's buying their farm produce. Well, it's not technically theirs. It is, they get slaves from Thailand, Philippines, India to do that farming. So Palestinian, the Falahin, yeah, the indigenous farmers of Palestine, the Falahin, yeah, they're not allowed to farm their ancient farming practices on their own land. What Chitrail did, they're not farmers, those Chitralis. They're service industry. They're people. They're bureaucrats. They're people who do deals. That's what they do. That's what they are. Private equity fraudsters, embezzlers, traffickers, drug traffickers, people traffickers, kids traffickers. I mean, that's what they do with all these wars. Gamblers, fraudsters. That's what they are. Murderers, rapists. That's what they are. Confirmation. And they don't care for farming. They don't care for real work. They don't care for the land. They burn the land. They burn the trees. They burn the olive trees and plant their native trees to mess up the whole ecosystem. Anyway, so no supermarkets in Europe are buying their produce anymore. So their whole farming industry is collapsing. And so that is just, the start of a chain of events where what they're called, contractors, the people who manage the farming but don't do the farming, the slave drivers of the Indians, the Thai, the Filipino, or whatever else they ship their actual farmers from. They take the farmers away from their home countries to do farming there for more money so they can send it back home. Anyway, none of them are going to get paid. None of the slave drivers are going to get paid. Then people are not going to earn money. People are going to move. The colonizers are going to move because there's no jobs. Because the farmers, if they're not going to pay the slaves from India, Thailand, Philippines, wherever they get them from, not going to pay them, then they're going to go back home and do farming back home. Then the colonizers are going to also go broke because they're not getting that all their harvest is going rotten because they're not harvesting it. And then what's going to happen is they're going to actually leave the land because it's not making them any money anymore, except for the very inhumane ways. So like through the dungeons, maintaining the dungeons, all those security jobs, all the surveillance. Even the tech people are leaving, though, to be fair. Even the it's not all of the tech entrepreneurs, I wouldn't really call them that. It's like an indoctrination camp of cyber trash from Shitrel that infiltrates the globe. But anyway, all of it's going to collapse, and then the colonizers are going to have to leave the country that is not theirs, and then the original farmers are going to go back, reclaim the land, and start farming it, because we don't know, we don't forget how to farm, because it is in us, and we like to do it. It is part of us. It's who we are. My family is from a farming family. Farming, seamstresses, I don't know what they've got, tailors, fisher people. That's what Gazans are. So, and we don't want to, we do everything for ourselves. End to end for ourselves. We don't need that shit. They think that they're needed, or some, all of these massive supply chains are needed. No, they're not needed. And they're all going to break down. The world is going to realise that all of these massive supply chains are just a massive con, and it's just loads of middle people making money off not doing very much, which technically, really, if you ask me, is like money laundering. It's fraud. And it's all going to collapse, it's all going to crumble. And then the proper supply chains, the honest ones, are going to emerge. Yes. The stable, the reliable, the consistent, the true, the honest. Those ones. They are the ones that are going to emerge. Anyways, I don't know how I got onto farming, really, because the reason why I wanted to make this video is to, if in case nobody else has explicitly said it like me, is when, well, I think it was like 2010, maybe 2011 was the start of the, I can't even, Arab Spring. Yeah, it was all orchestrated, exactly like what they did in Iran, except people fell for it back then. They also tried to do the same in Venezuela, by the way. I missed that bit out. They tried to do the same in Venezuela, but the Venezuelan people cottoned onto it as well, and they all united behind their leader. Just like in Iran, they're all united behind their leader and their government, because at the end of the day, they don't want that foreign bullshit. Bullying. That's basically what it is. Bullying. They don't want it. At the end of the day, do you believe in democracy or not? Because if you believed in democracy, you wouldn't be overthrowing people. Or you would be going down the legal routes to do that, like what is happening with Nutty and the International Criminal Court process. They're going through the legal route to have a head of state put on trial for crimes against humanity. So that is, if you want to overthrow somebody, then they have to have charges like that. The leaders that this intelligence orgy, what they do, they don't have charges. It's just that they have shiny things that they want. And what do you know? So does Iran have shiny things. No oil. That old thing. Venezuela, same thing. They have shiny things. They have minerals. So, in case nobody said it like me, this is why the world is collapsing, as in the financial, fake, illusionary world is collapsing, because this is their karma for this staged bullshit, which didn't just start from the Arab Spring. It started from the war on terror. Oh, cringe. That was orchestrated by Nutty, Bush and Blair. Blair, the sewer rodent. Do you know in Roald Dahl's The Witches of the Grand High Witch, Blair is the top sewer rodent? Like, look at his face, it even looks like one. Disgusting. He looks more and more evil as time goes on. More and more satanic as time goes on, because he can't escape the disgusting piece of shit that he is. Inside and out is exactly the same. Disgusting. Anyway, it all started from Blair. Yeah, those days. And now karma's come knocking, because karma doesn't forget addresses. And it doesn't care about your net worth. Karma doesn't work like that. And especially because of what they're trying to do. So they know that karma's come to collect, because they're all feeling the pressure of all the financial crash that's coming. And then now they're going around parading, trying to war with everyone, trying to take over, occupy all sorts of countries. Venezuela, Greenland, Gaza, Iran, all to try and save the fact that karma's come to collect. You can't, man. This is just universal law coming down on your head, because you've not been a very good boy. Or whatever, girl. I was just thinking of Blair, Bush, Nutty, those kinds of people. And yeah, so for all these regime changes, all of these leaders, these good leaders that were assassinated, all of this propaganda, all this bullshit, all of these children that they're trafficking from Ukraine via other countries, disgusting. They war because it makes them money from really disgusting things like that. They do all of these uprisings in other countries so they can steal the children. There's thousands of people missing in Gaza, thousands. And you know what the Gazan people they just say, oh, we just live in hope that they're still alive, because they don't even, people in Gaza don't even think like they do. They don't even think that their child's been trafficked, or their sister's been trafficked, or their husband, or whatever. Or, you know, manipulated into being, you know, a collaborator or something like that. We've taken them away to prison, and so they don't get tortured. They agree to be a collaborator or something like that. Because that's what happens. That's how they make ISIS and ALKAEDA terrorists. That's what they do. They detain them for no reason, and then the one, like, for example, like in Guantanamo Bay, why people are in there for a long time is because they don't admit, they don't concede, they don't take a deal or anything to become a collaborator and get out earlier. They keep their soul and they stay in the prison for like 15 years, 20 years, because they've not got a crime that they've to admit to that they've done, and they're not going to take a deal which in essence will make them admit to a crime that they never did, and then also get them into bed and create a karmic bind with these evil people. These evil people don't think about karmic binds. They don't think about energy exchange, like, and currency in that way. Like, when I say, okay, you know, like I've been talking about with financial arrangements, when I just say, well, if there's no compatibility and the partnership's gone, because like if I detect fraud, for example, and like if you have a business partner who is doing fraud, do you just ignore it? Like, do you accept it? Do you just say, okay, yeah, I'm just going to turn a blind eye while you do fraud over there, but I'm also director of this company, but I'm not involved? No, you don't do that. You cut them off. You say, bye bye, you're not in this business anymore. You do all the reporting that you need to do on them, and then you don't deal with them ever again. That's what you do. Because you just need to think about energy exchange and what is going to take you down, what is going to contaminate your energy, what is going to infiltrate you in a negative way. That's all energy exchange. That's all binds. And that's what you don't think about. You like about entering into those sorts of exchanges. And like, I think the new world, which I did a reading about earlier, people are going to start to think more like that. They're going to think about the karmic binds because of this big crash that's coming. They're not going to just think about the deal in terms of profit and money, which is what's been happening. People just manipulating people, brown nosing people, with this win at all costs private equity bullshit, which is fraud, just disaster capitalism all over the place. People are going to grow consciences. I don't know why they didn't have one before, but you know what I mean. And they're going to start thinking about, actually, what karma do we want to take on? Like, they're going to start to think, we don't want this karma anymore. We don't want to do this anymore. So I don't know why they had to do it to learn or to understand. I don't know why. Like, for me, it's like I was born knowing that you don't do that fucking shit. So I don't know. I don't know. But you got to think like the crazies of shit trail. You got to know your enemy. Do you understand? This is what knowing your enemy is when they talk about in the books. You got to understand. This is why you have to do your shadow work, so you can know what these fuckers are up to. I think like God got me learning tarot first and foremost to be able to decipher the channelings and turn them into poems, which were actually prophetic poems that I didn't know at the time. But second of all, to just have another tool in my arsenal to be able to defend myself against these pieces of shit that do all kinds of satanic bullshit, all kind of ritualistic sacrifice shit. They do sacrifice. And when you hear people saying obedience is preferable to sacrifice, they do the sacrifice. That's not of God. Well, the way they sacrifice is not of God anyway. But just sowing those seeds, planting those seeds, doing that little bit every day, being obedient, staying true to your path, that kind of thing. Not trampling on other people, just staying true to your own path. That's what they don't understand. So the people like they've tried to run over or destroyed and all that destruction, they're getting the karma for it now. Because why did they do that? Why did they infiltrate people's backyards where they had no fucking business doing that? There's obviously karma for that. Obviously. And you can tell that something drastic has really shifted. And I was picking up on this energy from towards the end, like Christmas. It was from Christmas time when I was picking up of this unity energy from Persia. There's a previous video about it, which was, I don't know, it was like very weird and not very clear and stuff when I was picking, like it was clear that was what it was, but the way I probably conveyed it probably wasn't, because I was just like, what the hell? And then just the responses to the same tactics in Venezuela, they didn't work. The responses to the same tactics in Iran, it didn't work. And in Gaza, nobody wants to be on this board. No, this board is a shit show. This board of peace is going to collapse because it's not going to work without Palestinian leaders. In fact, you can all fuck off because we are the landowners. And basically, they're trying to form like a rich person's club where you have to have money to come and join and be on this board. That's not democracy. What is that? What's that? It's not a private company. It's not a private company. It's not a private club. It's not the World Economic Forum, just purely for Gaza. So they're trying to do a World Economic Forum purely for Gaza, for money that they're robbing of us, of leveraging our land. No, they're getting kicked out. That's what's happening. They're getting kicked out because people like me exist that are going to stop them. That's what we're here for. There's 9 million Palestinian people all around the world, and we have rights, we have land, we have deeds. We don't have fake trusts. We don't have fake legal paperwork. We don't have fake insurance policies. We don't have fake mortgages. We are just the outright owners. And we are here and we are reclaiming what is ours. This is the time for restitution. It's the time. It's not, nobody can stop it. Nobody has the power to stop it. Not one person. It's a universal shift. It's a universal shift. But it's not just for us. It's for the whole region, because what happened in Iran is basically making the other countries recalculate about whether they want to even have American bases in their countries, because they know that they are a military target, and they have to decide, do we want to be in war or do we want to be in peace? And if Agent Orange wants to always be in war, then they have to decide, okay, well, we don't want to affiliate with Agent Orange. So we are going to dismantle the military bases in our countries that we've had and we've been used for to do all the sorts of terrorism in the area, in the region for decades. We are deciding that the cost is too much for us to have this here. We no longer want to be aligned with this. This is not in alignment with us. It's not in line with our values or our interests or anything like that for our own national security. We don't feel safe now. Goodbye, dismantle, clear out, take your forces, bye-bye. This has already been happening in the Sahel. They've been clearing out the French. There might have been other countries in Africa that I can't remember, but I read something about that last year, so I don't know. But Africa's been clearing out the French colonizers. Same thing's gonna happen. They were just ahead. That's the shift. That is the universal shift. Why do we want watchers? They're watchers. They're monitoring spirits. I mean, they're all going to surveil us with technology anyway. That's what they want to do. That's why they want to be there, to do all of this tech Riviera bullshit. They want to do this. That's what they want to make Gaza cyber. What's it called? Illegal surveillance hub on the sea. Can you believe it? No fucking way. Not a chance. Not a chance. The resistance is going to fight them again. If they try and do that shit, at the moment, I think what the resistance is doing is just sitting back watching with popcorn. Because it's a shit show. It's a shit show. The traitors are being found. The Palestinian Authority people, the ones that want the glory for just a little taste of power. Those ones. I've outed them on a post, on a video, another video. And yeah, just a little glimpse that's not power. They're disconnected from themselves. They don't know they're not in power. So no, there's going to be justice and reclaiming and be gone. That's what there is. Because you can't do unilateral shit on people. And now there's people that understand what they've done historically and today. Me being one of those, because they've tried to do it here. But here you can't get away with that shit so easily. Just because you're a tech lord doesn't mean that the law's not gonna stop you. Anyways, that's this. Another convoluted rant that went here, there and everywhere. But I find these quite enjoyable, so who knows, there might be more. See you in the next video. Help me out, do the free things. Bye! In fact, I did get a channel of a song, so it's not going to be that long till the next video because I'm going to do a reading. So I'll see you in that afterwards, if you're here for that too. Bye!